Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 15th of April 2020. Today we are going to run through a couple of trades that the algo trader took. And this is not that I want to talk about the algo trader, I want to underline the value of the histogram that's coming soon. And this is probably going to be available early May. I'm currently rewriting pieces of the code for optimization purposes, and it's a bit of a lengthy process because I'm writing, testing, and so it's an iterative process, and it just takes kind of a lot of time. Okay, so I appreciate your patience, and this should be available before long, but I just want to make sure that when I release it, we have a really nice stable piece of code that everyone's super pleased about. But if I show you the results from the trader, we have one trade that's open still. This is the Aussie CAD that it put on a couple of days ago, and it got in just up here. So before price managed to move up to this level here, we poked into the trade there, and we kind of moved a little bit deeper, and now we're starting to come back. And I love this. I really love how the software is operating, because it's doing things pretty close to how I would do it. But the cool thing about it is it's preventing me from jumping in early, because I have to wait for these alarms to go off before I get into a trade, which I love. I absolutely love that. I mean, because how many times have you been sitting there looking at a trade, price is going higher, you're thinking, oh, I want to sell it. Instead, you can just say, I'm not doing anything until the alarm goes off. So you put on the alarm and you wait. You do nothing else. And I really love that, how it's introducing this extremely objective approach to trading based on a very, very profound methodology, which is essentially currency strength. Okay, so the distribution of liquidity between two currencies, and I like that. I'm really enjoying that a lot. If we have a quick look at the results, let's have a look. Yeah, so we had this little pullback here. This loss was the Aussie American dollar trade that I had. I lost 1% on that trade, and I can show you that here. This is the one where was it? Here it is. That's the Aussie. So we got in here, a little bit early, as I talked about. Why? Because I was thinking, oh, this is a nice level, and it was a nice level, but price just kind of was wanting to look a little bit deeper, and so now price is continuing to wriggle lower, but it did have to go deeper. Okay, so I took a loss. Okay, and that's okay. That's completely fine. But the other trade is still in because it waited. So we waited for really over extreme levels, and price even went a little bit deeper. But that's fine as well. I mean, this happens, and this will happen over and over and over again. So so we got into this trade, and now we're kind of sitting on it. This morning we got into a couple of trades. Some of these trades were mistakes. Yesterday, when I was rewriting the functionality, when it scans all of the symbols in the Market Watch window, I was, by mistake, it was looking at the active symbol and not the one that is iterating, and so it opened a bunch of trades based on invalid information, so I had to babysit those, and I closed a bunch of them out. You can see all these tiny ones here. These are the ones that I had to close off early. Anyway, I managed to get out of those without losing too much skin off my nose, and then the rest of these trades managed to work out nicely. So we had a really nice trade on the Kiwi American dollar, and we sold just up here. You can see price poked into this. We went high. This link shot was pulled back, and then it dumped. And notice how it went almost to the pip to the area, and then we managed to move away. And I closed it just a minute ago. I got about this is 2 to 1 on this. It's a really nice trade. The risk was half that, obviously, and that was just a lovely trade. I'm thinking it's probably going to continue moving lower, but that was a gorgeous trade, and I'm happy for that. And you also have to realize, I mean, these trades don't go on forever. I'm not going to get a 500 to 1. I mean, these trades are going to stop, and so you have to use your head a little bit. And I saw that we kind of had resistance around here. Resistance became support, and so I was just a little bit cautious, and I said 2% is gorgeous, thank you very much, I'll have that, and then I just put that in my bank. And then we had this one here. I think this one was actually a mistake. Yeah, this was a mistake trade, so I closed that off. And we had the Aussie franc, which I know a lot of you guys managed to get into. I'm not exactly sure where you got in, but this is essentially where we got in. with a robot sold up here based on 4-hour information, just at this area of 4-hour supplies. Isn't that remarkable how they line up? And then price just started to wriggle down from there. And I closed this off a little bit prematurely because I wanted to kind of settle the books before I had some things to do. So that's what I did. So I closed that, and but this is easily going to continue to move lower. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, look how we're up here. We're definitely going to kind of wriggle down to around here. So this could have easily continued on. And if we have a look, I mean, your price is going to continue to move. And I mean, there's nothing stopping it from dropping to here. Okay, so I think that would have been a tremendous trade to hold on to. But I had things to do, so I had to get out of that one. Yeah, and then we have this one here that we just spoke about, and it's finally starting to work. It's been open since the 4th. And what's the date now? It's the 15th, so 11 days it's been open. So we're paying a bit of swap, but peanuts, so no worries. And in the meantime, I mean, the robot's killing it. I mean, today we've done so far over 3%, which is remarkable, which you can see here on the bleeding edge price. And the stats are looking pretty good. We're at least 80% win rate for all of our trades, which is absolutely gorgeous. And the best thing about it is we're using stop losses. We're never going to take a loss that's bigger than the pre-allocated risk, which is 1%. So it's nice. It's win-win-win, which I love. I absolutely love. And the cool thing is the histogram is doing the exact same thing. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to demonstrate the histogram so far. So what I like to do is, I've built this scanner. So enable alarm for all symbols. Then I have enable alarm for active symbol. And when it's on the active symbol, if you put this on like this, it's only going to scan this chart. And once the histogram reaches these thresholds that it's looking for, then it'll trigger an alarm. I know we have one here on the Aussie at the moment, so if I go like that, and I turn this to, let's go 1.5 just to make sure we get an alarm, then it'll pop up an alarm. Almost. We just escaped it. Let's go 1.3. Just so you can illustrate what it looks like. I still didn't get there. Alright, 1. Just to artificially invoke it. There we are. So we have this one here. So this is what an alarm will look like. It was the Aussie Kiwi I was thinking about. Sorry. So we have this one. This is what it looks like. The Aussie American dollar short. Okay, so now it's telling us that we have that. But I could also go to the other alarm, and I can say, right, I want you to scan not only the active chart, but I want you to scan everything. So I'll say go, and it runs a ton of code. It iterates everything. Okay, cool. And then it found this one here. Okay, Aussie Kiwi. So we go to the Aussie Kiwi. First of all, we disable the alarm so it doesn't make any more noise. We leave this window open. And then you can go through those. Aussie Kiwi. What does this look like? And it's saying, yeah, we're looking to short. And you can see here that we actually do have price that's reached these extreme levels, and now we're starting to move away. And notice as well that this is occurring at pretty close to this area of 4-hour supply just up here. Okay, and notice how price is really we're kind of standing on this skinny leg, a really strong push higher. So we have a price imbalance at this area. We have kind of liquidity void below price, and so we can expect price to return to an area where price can look to rebound. So we've got that right here, somewhere around here. We've got that here, and then price will probably come back down here eventually. And we're doing this at the extremes, which I think is remarkable. Okay, so that's beautiful. And the alarm looks like this is because it's debugging, but on your platforms, when it's not in debug, it'll look like this, because essentially these values mean nothing to you. You only want to see this. You want to see Aussie Kiwi short or dollar Japanese yen long. And this is the kind of information that you want to see. Then you can kind of look at it and you can assess it, add some discretion, some wisdom that you all have from staring at charts for such a long time, and then you can kind of assess if it's a good idea to take the trade or not. Yeah, but it's doing really, really well. And it's a very exciting project. And I don't mean to seem as if I'm dangling this in front of you all the time without releasing it. I just want to give you guys some updates so that you know what's coming. Okay, but I'm thinking it'll probably be available probably the beginning of May. I'm just running through the code a lot at the moment, trying to find some. There were a couple of bugs yesterday, the small trades that I showed you that I had to fix, and so there's there's a lot of optimization going on as well, and so this is just slowing things down. I have the kids at home, and we're doing all sorts of stuff to stay busy, and so there's not as much time to do this as I would like, and so I'm just having to kind of spread it out over a longer period of time. But things are looking good. Good. Well, I'm going to leave this nice and short, 10 minutes or so. But if you have any questions about this, please add them to the video or fire them off in the channel. And again, thanks so much for watching.